Good afternoon, this is Joe Reshetko. It is August 3rd, 2025. I am completing the Module 4 assignment for FH212 and FTH212. And the first step in this process was to rough out 3 shapes on the panels, so that way we could start with the process. So I got a little rectangle, I have a diamond, and then I have a circle. All right. In addition, I have no firearms in my working space, no live ammunition. Everything is secured in the safe, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with the first step in this, and then I'll continue with the next video. Thank you. All right, so we have attempted to cut the border into each of these designs. I mean, I followed the instructions, and there's definitely the lack of texture. I went through with the sandpapers and the rotary tool to cut these edges in. I mean, I guess I'm really bad at it. If you look at the outside and on the inside here, you see the scuff marks from the sandpaper. And I mean, we got the shapes, the borders are cut in, so we're going to move on to stippling these test panels. All right, so after stippling the test panels, I went with a chevron pattern on the rectangle, which actually I kind of like if I could have kept it more consistent. I went with just a standardized, like following the lines in the diamond of just some regular dots. And then I went with some kind of a random pattern kind of radiating out of the center with the circle. Honestly, all these are pretty aggressive. I'm probably going to want to go a little softer on the actual grip. All right, quick video to show my prepped hand grip. I'm basically just going to clean and then retexture these 2 surfaces. The ends, both sides, are cut in too deep, and I don't want to get too deep into the actual frame of the grip. So we're just going to do it from this point right here. All right, so the borders have been cut into this, and I'm about to remove the factory finish. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and get everything polished up, and then I'm going to start with the stippling of this using a scallop tool on my with my wood burner. So here we are, we're all stripped down, we're all polished up, ready to start the process of using the scallop tool to create the texture on the stippling. See if it works. All right, so the finished product. I actually kind of like how it came out. I actually got some the scallop tool and made like a scallop pattern on the grip. It's a little more aggressive than I would like. I think I could probably go through and just kind of like sand down the rougher portions of it, just to kind of give it a more static finish. But the texture is actually pretty good. The design I really like. It actually came out pretty nice. I think with some practice, I could definitely do a lot better. There's a couple spots where I let the tool rest a little bit too long and it messed up the edges. But overall, I kind of like how it came out. All right, for the last part of the assignment, part 3, we're talking about what we went through and everything else in regards to this project. So I took a lot more time with setup than I normally would on a project, trying to get everything exactly how I wanted it. I cleaned everything up. I made sure I had all the tools laid out that I needed, so I wasn't searching for anything in the process. In addition, when I was doing the small pieces, I went with very simple designs just because it's my first time doing anything like this, so I wanted to make sure that I gave myself the best chance. I tried 3 different type of patterns in regards to actually how it was stippled, and decided I didn't like any of them, and that's why I went with the scallop tool. I did attempt a couple test patterns on one of the test pieces with that scallop tool, found out that I actually did like how it was going to turn out. Biggest difficulties I came across was the fact that I'm very new at this in regards to this detail work on firearms, and I am not a very artistic person, so trying to come up with a way and a pattern that was simple yet could still come out looking actually decent, I was happy with how the results came out. Things to do to make the process smoother in the future. Honestly, I just think practice. If I were to take time to do this, I would want to make sure that I had a ton of practice before I actually worked on anybody's, including my own firearm, to do a finished piece, which means I would have to get more of these polymer sheets and actually work the process through many times in the future to create the final product that I would like. Overall, I mean, I enjoyed this project. It's not really my cup of tea, but I think I could in the future, with, once I said, more practice, could get better at it. Thank you.